And he talked a lot about the kind of looking after all segments of society and that sort of thing. So it sounded very good. He did not talk specifically about health care, which he probably should have, because that is one aspect of the of what government can and should be doing in the near term to help people, make sure that those who don't have good health care get good health care.
Yeah, certainly with more and more people being out of work, it becomes more of a necessity.
He didn't explicitly talk about how we're going to help people who are unemployed, extending unemployment benefits, but those are among the things that he has been working on through his transition team. So I don't think he's forgotten about health care. I don't think he's forgotten about the unemployed. I think those will be done. But what he did put in his inaugural address, I thought was just great. It was, it wasn't as great a speech, maybe as Lincoln's second inaugural, with all of the religious overtones there. It was not it didn't have the flourishes of the Kennedy Sorensen. Maybe Ted Sorensen would call it the Kennedy speech, but we'll call it the Kennedy-Ted Sorensen speech of 1961, which was, really was soaring in its rhetoric. But it was a very good speech, well written, well delivered. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, in his speech, he very specifically referred to how the old ways of doing things are over, partisanship.
He called us politicians childish, you'll recall. Exactly. It's time to put away childish things, right?
People constantly call for the end of partisanship and say it's around the corner now that they're in charge. And in the Senate and in Congress, it somehow has a way of coming right back. And I'm just curious what you're hearing from the other side of the aisle, from your Republican colleagues, how they felt, how they received his speech, and what you think whether the Republicans will actually work with him or there are going to be these roadblocks very soon.
I mean, there are still some signs of partisanship. Some of my colleagues that I spoke with, Republicans, were also inspired by this, but maybe not so much by the words as by the sea of humanity. As far sitting up there on the west front of the Capitol, looking past the president as he gave his address, you could look for 2 or 2.5 miles, however far it is, to the Lincoln Memorial, and there was not a space without people. I mean, it was solid people. And a happy crowd, an excited crowd. Cynicism may have been the real victim of this last election. Let's hope so, because our cynicism in recent years could be the undoing of our self-government. It really could be. I mean, it's that self-government is something that is more fragile than most people realize, and some of you have heard me say in speeches, it's a self-governing system works only if you believe it does. And, not in the Tinkerbell believe it does, but I mean, really, you think you can govern yourselves. And if you don't believe that voting machines work, or you believe that all politicians are corrupt, or that you have no say in the matter, well, then, it probably will fail. But the point is, the Republicans, too, were swept up, I think, in this good feeling. Euphoria might be too strong a word, but the crowds there, I mean, even the ones who were shut out, didn't make it through the gate, there was still a sense of good feeling. Even people who were trapped in this this tunnel that goes under the mall, the highway tunnel that went under the mall. They were trapped under there for 2 or 3 hours. And they think the police probably didn't even know they were down there. Even they have not been angry or bitter. I mean, so the good feeling was remarkably strong.
Yeah, all reports were exactly that.
Yeah.
That it was an uplifting day to be a member of that crowd. Just to follow up on Lauren's question, not only the GOP, but how about the House and Senate leadership from the majority side?
Well, I can speak.
It's incumbent upon them to try and be part of the putting aside the cynicism.
Yeah. I can speak a little bit for Nancy Pelosi because I've talked with her about this. I can't speak for Senator Reid. Or for really the other Democratic leaders in the House or the Senate. But for months, she has been saying, if there is a strong Democratic majority, which, of course, there is in the House, since the House gained quite a few Democratic seats on top of the seats that were gained in 2006, and, of course, a Democratic president, it will be more possible to be bipartisan. It's interesting that if you have a narrow majority, every member is looking at every other member as of the other party as someone who is vulnerable electorally, and it would be an opportunity for you to strengthen your majority. So it breeds a reluctance to cooperate because, you know, every member of the other party is somebody that you might be able to beat at the next election. If there's a clear majority, and you can put that out of your head a little bit. And so, contrary to most people's immediate belief, a strong majority can lead to less partisanship. And Nancy Pelosi's been saying that for months. I mean, it's partly her argument for why you should vote Democratic in your local congressional election, wherever it is. But there's some truth to it also. And she too was inspired by this speech. She was not put off, I believe, by President Obama's saying that we've got to put aside old partisanship, we've got to put aside old politics, these are childish things, and as the scripture says, you put away childish things. Some of us could have taken some insult from that, but I take some hope from it.
I want to go back to the stimulus briefly. You mentioned the science component of it, but what else would you like to see in?
Well, I mean, one of the lessons of recent months is that there is a role for government. Some of that us have been saying that for a long time. There's a role for government in people's lives. And yet you have people like Newt Gingrich and others who for years have been saying, get the government off our backs and get the government out of the way, and the government is the enemy, to quote some famous public figures. The government is the problem, not the enemy. I mean, the government, is not the solution to our problems, the government is the problem, and that kind of thing. With the poor regulation of recent years, with the reluctance to get involved in the Israel-Palestinian peace process, with a trickle-down approach to the economy where let people with money get more money because they obviously have demonstrated that they know how to use money. That kind of approach has been discredited. And people are now, I think, a majority of Americans recognize that there are things the government should and could be doing. In this particular case, right now, there are some trillions of dollars missing from our economy. The public is not spending. They're holding on to every last dime they can because they're afraid that they might be in the next unemployment wave. Small businesses and large can't borrow. Lots of, at least paper value, is lost from Wall Street. And as a result, money's not moving. And so